My next guest is not big on the stock market and is also now very bearish on government bonds. So what does Jim Rogers like right now? Jim joins me now to talk investment plays here. Also has a new book out called Street Smarts. Jim, good to have you on the program.
I'm delighted to be here. But, you know, Marie, you were talking before. It's all artificial what's going on right now. The Federal Reserve is printing money as fast as they can. But the Bank of Japan said, we're going to print unlimited money. And so you know what the Federal Reserve said? We'll match you. We'll print money, too. I mean, this is insane.
I mean, you've got central bankers all over the globe printing money.
Yes, the Europeans are saying we'll buy as many bonds as we have to. You think this is a sound economy?
Well, I know that you don't like stocks, but do you really want to fight the Fed here and fight every major central banker out there?
I'm shorting I'm short government bonds, and I've shorted bonds 2 or 3 times and been stopped out. I'm actually making money at the moment, which surprises me, but I'm making money on my bond shorts. Maybe it's the end of the 32-year bull market. If it is, I'll make a lot of money in bonds. Stocks may go up too, but I don't see how this can last too long. I expect after the German election, you know, there's a lot of good news coming out of Europe this year because Mrs. Merkel wants to win. But after the German election, where's the good news coming from?
Well, you think Europe becomes another problem?
Of course, Europe's not finished.
Right.
Mrs. Merkel is going to say it's finished.
For some reason, it's not on the front pages anymore, and I'm just wondering if that's
There's an election in Germany.
Yeah.
Germany's the largest. Germany runs Europe. She's got to win her election.
Right.
She knows that.
And there's also an election in Italy, and then you've got bonds coming due, debt due, interest payments due in Spain. So you do have some catalysts on Europe. I agree with that.
There are going to be more problems coming down the road, but at the moment, they've gotten good news from Mrs. Merkel.
So in terms of the stock market, I mean, we've had a rip-roaring 2013, the beginning of the year for sure, and a rip-roaring end of the year. What's behind it other than the Fed then? You don't think there's
And the Bank of Japan, wait a minute, the Bank of Japan has said we'll print even more money than the Fed. He said unlimited amounts of money. That's a lot of money.
So would you buy, you buy no stocks here?
I own Japanese stocks. I'm buying Russia.
You're buying Russia.
Russia's terribly depressed. Nobody likes Russia. Nobody. I'm buying the bonds. I'm buying the bonds, the currency, and stocks.
You think you'll be able to get your money out of Russia when you want to?
I wouldn't be, Maria. Hold on. I've been bearish. Hold on. Let me tell you. I've been bearish on Russia for 46 years. Right. I first went there in 1966. I've changed my mind, and yes, I think I'll be able. I'm not going to give my money to Putin. No. I hope.
Right.
I hope.
Really?
No. I for the first time in 46 years have decided to invest in Russia.
So you believe there's a rule of law there? You believe that this is? I mean, you're buying Russia over the United States of America?
Everybody is pessimistic. Yeah, listen to your questions. Everybody is pessimistic on Russia. Russia's changing. That's how you make money. You find something that everybody hates, including me, including you, when it's changing, and that's how you make money.
Everybody hates Apple right now. Would you buy it?
No, I'm short Apple.
You're short Apple.
I've been short Apple.
Yeah, how come?
Because I was just short in the fall because it went through the roof and everybody loved it.
Yeah, 700.
September.
That's fantastic.
Doesn't matter what price. Listen, sometimes even I get it right.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Right. You've been getting it right for years.
But anyway, no, I wouldn't buy Apple. I may have to cover my short, but no, I'm not. That was a sidelights for me.
What about the banks? Where do you stand on the banks at this point? I mean, they've made people lots of money over the last year.
They haven't made me any money over the last year.
Oh, you've been negative on the banks.
No, I've been short J.P. Morgan calls. I've made them. They all expired worthless. I'm still short a few, and they're not expiring worthless. So I may lose money on that. But I have not made any money other than shorting J.P. Morgan calls. I've made no money in banks.
And any other areas? I mean, the economically sensitive names have also become a leadership group here in the U.S.
Well, I said Japan. I mean, that's a pretty big market. I said Russia. That's a pretty big market. I'm not buying anything in the United States. I'm short bonds in the agriculture, but we talked about agriculture before.
I want to talk about agriculture in a second, but let's go back to Japan for a minute, because Japan has been on fire. You've got the government there also creating all of this stimulus. Is that going to end badly as well?
No, Japan, is down 75%. 75%.
But in the last couple of months, what is it up?
No, the last couple of months. No, it's gone through the roof. Thank you. Thank you, Japan. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Look at that Nikkei average.
No, I know. I don't have to show it to you. I know what it's going to do. No, Japan is they're going to continue to print money. It's not good for the world. It's making markets go up. But in the meantime, I'm participating. The yen is collapsing in Japan, but the stock market's going through the roof.
But if they're printing all this money in Japan and you're positive on it, but they're printing all this money in the U.S. and you're negative on it.
Wait a minute. The American stock market's at an all-time high. The Japanese stock market's 75% below its all-time high. Maria, I know your mama taught you to buy low and sell high. I'm saying to you, it's down 75%. The trade with China's booming. I'd rather buy. I hope I'm buying low and selling high.
Yeah, yeah. And so how long do you think this lasts in Japan? I mean, there's a lot of momentum going on there.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. There's a lot of momentum, and I'm not very good at trading, short-term trading. But why couldn't it double? Why couldn't it go to 20,000 if he prints a lot of money? Now, the yen may collapse, but the stock market could go to 20,000.
Because of the valuation that we're talking about.
Yeah, because he's printing money, and the money, he said unlimited. When you throw a lot of money out the window, Maria, somebody catches some of it.
Yep, yep.
I mean, you know, there's the wisdom tree has a whole ETF, which is it called an ETF?
Yes,
which is
DXJ.
Yeah, which is neutral on the currency.
Yep, yep.
That's a great way to play Japan.
Yeah, they hedge out the currency. Let me ask you about rates in this country, because some people worry that in fact we're going to see, once rates start creeping up, you're going to see it come, fast and furious. Is that what you would expect?
I hope so. I'm short bonds.
Yeah.
I'm short the 30-year bond. It's a 30-year bond.
Yeah, but when would that happen, Jim? Come on, this year, next year?
Well, I don't expect it to spike this year unless something strange happens. If we go to war with Iran, yeah, it'll spike up. But it can continue to creep up. I'm not good at market timing. I'm short bonds, and I hope they spike up, the interest rates. What
about commodities, Jim? I mean, you've been so right on this space for so many years. I know you love agriculture still, right?
Yeah. I would rather own agriculture. I would buy agriculture, but
how do you participate that as an investor in agriculture? You do an ETF?
Yeah, that's what I do. I do the Rogers. I have some ETFs which trade on the New York Stock Exchange. Maria, I'm not here to talk about ETFs. I'm here to sell books. Yeah. For goodness sakes.
Well, give me the street smarts. Give me the street smarts.
Yeah, it's all in the book.
Street smarts. What's so smart about the street today?
Today?
Yeah.
I told you
what are the street smarts from Jim Rogers right now?
I tell you, sell bonds, short government, short long-term United States government bonds right now. Right now.
Uh-huh.
And that's probably my main U.S. investment. I'm along the dollar, but other than that.
Everybody's criticizing the Federal Reserve for all this stimulus. How does this end?
Why aren't you criticizing the Federal Reserve? Because you're on TV.
You do it. I mean, I'm trying to take the other side of every argument and be neutral here, you know?
Well, no, it's outrageous what they're doing. Bernanke was already printing lots of money. He doesn't understand economics. He doesn't understand finance. He doesn't understand currencies. All he understands is printing money. You know, you read his studies of the Depression. No mention of debt, no mention of foreign trade, no mention of currencies. He doesn't know anything about what's going on in the world. He just understands printing money.
Well, we don't have the leaders in Washington, the president and Congress either.
You think they do?
Yeah, exactly.
Really bad for my nervous system.
Yeah,
oh my
all right,
gosh.
I want to talk about your book for a second. The book is Street Smart. Now, your quantum fund with George Soros back in 1973 delivered a 4,200% return over 10 years. You said it's still possible. How do you do it?
I said it's still not for me. I'm not working that hard. Well, if you work really hard and you find somebody who's driven and ambitious and that's all they want to do, and they use a lot of leverage, we use huge amounts of leverage. Yeah, it can be done. Can I do it? Not in a million years. I'm doing other things. But if you find the right people, of course it can be done. Why not?
And you talk about that in the book.
Yeah, of course I do.
You mentioned Russia. You know, I'm hearing a lot about Mexico. What's your take?
Well, the problem with Mexico is the oil is drying up. The oil is running out. Yeah, they've had a wonderful time. But they have a young population, and the Mexican oil is drying up. That's how the government gets something like 40% of its money from oil.
Right.
But it's drying up. Here in the last days, maybe they're going to spend a lot and things are going to look great, but I wouldn't put your money in Mexico, much less mine.
My money. Oh, God, you wouldn't put my money. All right, so the single best opportunity from Jim Rogers' eyes right now is what? Forget about the bond market for a second.
Oh, I'm not smart enough. Whatever I tell you is going to be wrong. I guess I'd say Russia. I mean, I guess I'd have to say Russia right now.
Why is Russia so intriguing to you?
It's a disaster. Nobody likes Russia. Do you know anybody who can even spell Russia? You know, most people can't stand Russia. You know, they can't stand Putin. Putin's changing, though. If I'm right, Putin's changing, and that's where you're going to... Well, Myanmar, we've talked about Myanmar. The best new thing is probably Russia.
All right, well...
Or North Korea, but let's not waste our time.
North Korea?
Yeah, it's fabulous. But the only way to invest is to buy stamps or the coins. And your viewers are not going to go out and buy North Korean gold and silver coins. But that's a fabulous opportunity.
Would you buy gold right here at the levels that they're at?
Absolutely not. I own gold, but I wouldn't buy it here. I'm not selling, but I wouldn't buy it unless I were buying North Korean gold coins.
All right, Jim, great to talk with you as always.
Likewise.
Jim Rogers joining us. His new book, Street Smart.